Hello and welcome to the Killtocraft podcast. I am Vanessa, also known as Nessa. I am Killtocraft on Instagram, Ravelry, and you can find me on my blog, which is www.killtocraft.wordpress.com, and our Ravelry group, which is just Killtocraft if you search in the groups tab. Hello and welcome back to episode 44. I tried to record yesterday and ended up feeling a little bit out of touch, which sometimes you usually do when you haven't podcasted in a little while. And I wasn't feeling my chatty self, and usually when that occurs it's best not to continue. I decided to completely stop what I was doing and to record today instead. The only problem with that is some of the content that I have to show you has now changed, so I will probably pop in some clips here and there of only a couple of things that I want to share with you, that is now different. So, on with the episode. Actually, a little bit about me. So I am, if you are new to the podcast, I am from Yorkshire, UK. I have a cat and a partner. We live in a flat together. I work as a pattern writer for a knitting company, and I sometimes also design for myself. You can find my designs on Ravelry. You can find me as Killtocraft and then find my Ravelry store from there. I have currently a hat pattern and a sock pattern that are for sale. I'm currently working on a few things, on a few patterns, but they might be more for next year. Well, a couple of them will be more for next year. Work has been very busy, which kind of limits my time that I get to work on my own things. As is when you work a deadline job. Hey! Sorry, my cat is in with me and he's sniffing and pestering things. And now he's going to do it to my wheel. Can you see? Right down here, like this. Hey! Does not pay any attention. He's not deaf. He just doesn't listen to me. Right, there you go. Yeah, only when it suits him. Anyway, we'll get into some content. So, I have some knitting for you today to share with you, and then I have some spinning. It's gonna annoy me. What are you doing? Give me a second. Lay down. Stop pestering things. So in my pink hazel bag, which I got from Pomfest a few years ago, it's one of my favourite bags, possibly my most expensive bag. I think this bag was about £50. It was a treat purchase because I fell in love with it, and I'd saved up quite well for Pomfest so that I had enough money to treat myself really well. So I have my Birds of a Feather shawl to share with you by Andrea Mowry. I'm using 3 different skeins of yarn. The pattern calls for a mohair and 2 skeins of one single colour. However, I'm using 2 contrast colours for my main. So this is Naive and Granny, which are both hedgehog fibre colourways. They're both really nice. The only thing is this one must be their really old base, sock base. I really like this. This one is their newer sock base. I don't know what they did to it, but it feels really stringy, and the plies are loose. Doesn't feel as just doesn't feel the same. Even the even the fabric doesn't look as great. One of them things. And then I got this lovely mohair, which was by Fab Funky Fibres. I went to a trunk show. It was like a one-off treat experience at a knit and natter. They were invited to join us in Leeds, and one of my friends who's rewarding memories, Rachel, on Instagram, invited me over because she's fairly local. And I got a bus and nipped over, and I treated myself to some of this mohair, intending it to be for the birds of feather shawl. However, I didn't know what my contrast colours would be. He's now looking in my project bag. He's got his head in it. Sorry, distracted by the cat. Because I didn't have two of the same colour, I decided to go with two different ones and just alternate. So this is my birds of a feather shawl. When it was really small, it was definitely a uterus because of the colour. So I started out with peach. I don't know, can you see how like lovely and well filled the pink is and neat? And then this, I don't know, this peach to me just doesn't look, it doesn't fill the gaps as well as what the pink does. So yeah, you can see it more in person, I think. And what I did was I started with the peach, there's a mohair section, then I went into the pink for the garter stitch section, mohair section, and then lace, which ended up being peach. And that's what I'll do all the way throughout. Started decreasing now on one side and increasing, well, omitting yarn overs on one side and increasing on the other. But it's really pretty. I'm hoping it's going to be massive, because at the minute it still seems like it's not very deep. But I'm loving it. And I'm loving the really beautiful speckles in the mohair. So I decided on these two colours because obviously the pink looks great with the pink, and then if you can see there's tiny touches of like peach and orange that I thought really could go well with the granny colourway. So that's my birds of a feather shawl. I'm really enjoying it. I've been knitting it while I've been watching TV, and it's just been my relaxing knitting because at the minute my focus has been quite slim, that I'm actually enjoying garter stitch for a change, and that doesn't happen. If anybody who knows me from like previous podcast episodes or Instagram, I usually like the busy, complicated things. I like cables. Not really into like garter stitch, I get bored. And at the minute I'm really into my mindless knitting because work has been very tiring, and it's just one of those things where now I'm into the easy projects, I might as well cast on all of the garter stitch, right? So I might even cast on a few more garter stitch shawls in the next few months and just take advantage of that situation. But really enjoying this. It's great because I can take it out because it's not too difficult. The instructions are fairly easy, so once you get the repeat down for the garter stitch section, it's pretty much garter stitch until you get to the lace section. So you just do the same, and then halfway through, or just over halfway through, you start changing where you're increasing and decreasing. But the only thing I have to look at the instructions for is this lace chevron area, which is really nice. So I'm really enjoying that. So that's my Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. Go check that out. The next knitting project that I have, I'll do a next one because I think I've got enough time to do another quick knitting project. I have been working this week, only the past few days, on my simpler Sinister cat sweater, and this will be for my nephew. I've done the second size, which is about a 19-inch chest. I think it's a 20 stitch to 10 centimetre gauge, but with a standard DK I get about 22, which is usually the standard on a DK ball band. And think I'm managing to get about 21. So it's slightly smaller. I think it's coming up at about 18.5, but that's not too bad. So this will be like a size 3 to 6, 3 to 9ish months kind of sweater. I'm onto the first sleeve, and I'm only really a few centimetres away from being the same length as the body. It needs to be 16 centimetres, so it's 14 to here. So then I know to start getting my tape measure out. I love this yoke, it's really cute, and I love the fact that the neckband and the bottom band are done in different colours. I think I might have to cast off the bottom edge ever so slightly looser, but I mean it's not too bad. Like it does stretch, but then it stops. So I'm gonna have a little tink back and cast that off a little bit looser. But all in all, I'm really happy with it. It's really sweet, and I really could do with making myself one. I think I do have some more of this colour, and I have some like a lilac, so maybe I could do myself one. Be really cute. It's really simple. The colour work is easy. I think the most you have to stretch across is maybe about 6-7 stitches, so you just need to catch it maybe once. But other than that, it's really easy and really cute, and it goes all the way from I think it's 0 to 3, kind of newborn age, all the way to adults. So I'm really excited about this pattern because it means that I could actually make more of these for my nephew and maybe one for me, but then maybe if I made one for me when he grows up, he'd think that that would be really uncool to be matching a sweater with his auntie. We'll see. Maybe I could learn him that, well, teach him that that's not the case. But yeah, so I'm going to be an auntie this month. He's due at the end of this month, beginning of October, so hopefully he comes safely into the world. I'm really excited. First time to be being an auntie as well. So I've been making him lots of things. I also have a cross stitch that I'm making him, but my cat is asleep on it now. So maybe next time, maybe I could I'll film a clip later on when he's not sleeping on it, and I'll include it into the next episode. At least you guys aren't missing out. I'm going to take a sip of my my biscuit brew tea latte. So a friend of mine and friend on Instagram, she kindly gifted me a Banana Yoshimoto book, and inside she gifted me a box of biscuit brew, which is by Yorkshire tea, and I usually get the Yorkshire Gold tea. This is delicious, and because I've got a milk frother, I usually have almond milk now because I'm dairy free and gluten free. This is a relatively new to me thing. But I haven't drunk tea in a really long time because finding the right milk to have with my cup of tea, some of them don't go as nicely and aren't as satisfying, but actually the biscuit brew blend, which has a malty biscuit flavour, it's tasty as hell, goes really nice with almond milk, so this might be my new favourite. And I tend to warm it up in my milk frother first so that it's warm, and then it actually doesn't curdle in my cup when I add it to my drink of coffee or tea. So I've actually had it as a latte. I've shoved a little bit of the froth on top. And that's in my Pusheen mug. And if anybody's wondering what I'm wearing today, this is my latest t-shirt, which is lots of Bill Murray from all like loads of different films. We've got Groundhog Day, Moonrise Kingdom, Ghostbusters, all of the films. And I really love this. I got this from a market, a summer fair that was happening at the Hepworth Art Gallery, which is local to me. and this was on like the third stall in to the show, and I just couldn't resist because look at it, it's awesome. Anyway, next up I've got some spinning to share with you. So the elephant in the room is the fact that I now have a spinning wheel. So I picked this up about two or so weeks ago from my friend. I bought this from her. This is a Woolmakers Bliss. She's had it for quite a while, but she's wanting to invest some money into getting her e-spinner, which I believe she's now got, so that's super exciting. I've been seeing those around a lot, and I'm even kind of tempted now that I've played with this and now that I'm really enjoying it, I'm kind of tempted to save up for myself a present at Christmas. But we'll see, because Christmas is an expensive time. I don't always have the money these days to go nuts. But my priorities are in the right place, so usually when I do have spare money it does go to yarn or crafts. I like to spend my time indoors playing. So on the spinning front, I got my new wheel, so I spent like the first few days of the first week that I had it, before we went away, I spent practicing, getting used to the feel of the wheel and getting used to drafting. So the first day that I had to go, I managed to actually get it to take the yarn up, and I managed to draft and managed to spin for about a good hour on the wheel perfectly fine. I think the first time I managed to do it, it broke off after about 30 seconds of drafting, but I was like super excited because the first time doing it, and I actually got it to work. So I've never had a go on a wheel before. It was a little bit of experimentation because at first I couldn't figure out why it wasn't taking my yarn in, and I realised that it was pulling the leader too quick, so I turned down the tension, and I realised that that was what was then putting some twist in the yarn, and then when you turn it up it takes it in, and I got it. And then the following few days I just carried on practicing, just doing the same, practicing my usual way of drafting because it was what was comfortable to me, getting used to the rhythm and the pace and, you know, first footsteps forward kind of thing. I really love it, it's great, I'm really enjoying it. And then I had a weekend away visiting family, so when I came back I then continued on my second bobbin, doing the singles. I was using Rolags from Deb's of Fondant Fibre, and they were like mixed random Rolags that she did as a little set for me at one point years back. And I'd done one bobbin with 3 different colours, and then the second bobbin I had 3 Rolags, 2 red, 1 brown, and I broke them in half. And I think what I did was I did half pink, half brown, 1 full one in the middle, half brown and 1 pink again at the end. And then I've 2-plied them together, which I just did last night. So I will insert a clip here of me sharing them on the episode I filmed last night. I was straight back on it, had another go, and I was away spinning, and I couldn't believe it. So the first 3 days I did a colour each day, so I did the orange first, then the green, and then some of the blue. These are Rolags random Rolags that I got from Deb's of Fondant Fibre. I've had these for a little while with no real spinning intentions, so they were great to have a bit of fun and play and practice with. And then the last 3 days that I've had this week spinning, I've done some red and brown ones, same random Rolags, random fibres and mixes, and I'm then gonna be gross and kind of ply them together. So I know that they're gonna probably not complement each other or anything, but it gets me practicing plying 2-ply and plying them on the wheel and getting a bit more of a method. But I'm really happy. These are my first 2 bobbins, guys. First 2 bobbins of my spinning journey. Super excited. So I'm going to start plying those tonight. And then I sat down last night and plied them together. And this isn't what they look like all the way throughout, because there is a section of blue, which you could probably maybe, no, you can't see. Can you see there's some blue at the top? So like underneath there's other layers of colours, but this is the top layer of colour. And it's come out really well. It's come out also super sparkly. I can't wait to knit this. So this is how my 2-ply came out. It's kind of like a Zauber ball. I'm really loving it. Now, before I started applying it, I thought it was honestly going to look a bit like some kind of disgusting vomit, but I actually kind of like this, and I will be knitting with it. Might put it in my blanket. So later on after the episode, I'm going to go and wind this into a skein and get it submerged and soaked and then dried. Also, I can clear off my bobbins. And then I've also put some ply into some yarn that I've been drop spindling. So it's quite a spinning heavy episode for you. But I got gifted this beautiful braid a while back from a friend. And I believe this is a Hilltop cloud, but I'm not sure of the fibre content. I know that there might be a bit of mohair in here, so it would be okay for socks. What I did was I broke it in half, the braid, and then because it has such a defined colour repeat, so corn colour, green, like a grey, a blue, a red, and this nice chartreusey limey green, I broke the braid in half and then I split it into 2. Oh no, I didn't split it into 2. I split it into each colour section first. I'm trying to remember what I did. And then each colour section I divided into 8. And each repeat was 2 strips. So basically I had 4 repeats of 6 colours in half a cake of yarn. And then I think I slightly went over, so that's using this and the bit at the end, so I divide it all into 8 strips basically, so that half would be the right amount. I didn't end up using the full half in the singles that I did spin up. I was spinning up the singles on here, and then I was chain plying it on here and joining it together. This is my drop spindle that was also gifted to me. This was from Spincity, which is Louise. I love seeing Louise's stand, it's amazing. The past few years though I haven't bought any fibre from her, so I'm super excited to go and check out her stand again at Yarndale this year. So I did the singles and I did the 3-ply, but reading up on spinning with my new Yarn.i.tec.ture book, which I was advised to treat myself to, I've been reading up, and then I also have been listening to a lot of like videos on spinning, and somebody mentioned that around about 30% of your twist like disappears in soaking, and I felt like my singles were kind of underplied already. Made me a bit wary of the fact that maybe when I then soaked it, it would become less plied and unusable for the project that I had in mind, which would be socks, so I needed to over ply it a bit more. So I decided to run it through the wheel, and this is what we now have. I'm really happy with this. So this is going to get wound up today and put into in for a soak and let it dry, and then I can get on knitting with this. So this is just under 50 grams. I'm guessing it's probably about 40, but I never use 100 grams for socks. I always tend to use about 70, maybe 65, 70 grams. So this is going to be plenty for one sock, and then I will start spinning the second. I have decided that I'm going to spin up my singles for this, just as singles, and then I'm going to 3-ply it later, most likely on the wheel, because it's going to be a lot quicker, but we'll see how I get on. Might be nice practice for on the wheel, but we'll see. But it will make the process a little bit quicker as well, because I won't be plying it also on the spindle, which does take time. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's so cool, I get to show you guys bobbins that I've done. Look, my fibre, all into yarn. I'm really excited because everybody seems to be spinning at the minute, so I've been really inspired by all the ladies this year who have got abilities to use a wheel and spin, because previously I've been spinning for about on and off for about 8 years. More so in the past 3 to 4 years I've been spinning more consistently and you know, doing it more regularly. But the fact that it's so slow doing like a fingering weight, I have to spin a lace. It's like I can get a gain of fingering weight within a year on a drop spindle, just doing it here and there. It was getting a little bit laborious, and I don't know about you, but I really wanted to produce yarn. That's why I was spinning. And the yarn that I like tends to be fingering weight or sock weight, so naturally I needed to get a wheel. I couldn't afford a brand new one, although the Woolmakers Bliss, if you're looking for an affordable beginner's wheel, I would recommend. Brand new, these aren't that bad of a price point, which I was quite surprised at. So it's worth checking out. I really love it. It's a great wheel. So thank you to my friend for selling me it. I love it. But yeah, so then seeing everybody this year spinning has really inspired me to like actually get out there and do it myself, but I didn't have a wheel. I've been searching all over for like a second-hand wheel, but a lot of them are more down south, so I won't be able to collect it, or still weren't in my price range. So yeah, I'm really happy that I've finally got a wheel, and it looks really cool. Like, doesn't this look like a cool wheel? Like, 'cause it's a bit more concept-y. It's kind. I've been saying to people that it's kind of like a spinning wheel that IKEA could have made, because it does look kind of cool like that. Like it fits in with an IKEA themed living room or something. So the next thing, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like being inspired by other people spinning. Like Mina got a wheel this year and she's super inspiring. Like I love seeing what methods she's been doing and what she's been trying, and different fibre like braids and things. It's just really great. And then my friend Hannah of Yarniadesigns, she's lovely. If you've not checked out her podcast, please do go ahead over to her channel. She does some really lovely podcasts, and she's been spinning a lot lately as well, and sharing what she's been spinning and making, and it's just so, it's great, it's fab, and it's made me super jealous. And then I've also read really nice messages and support from like knitter friends on Instagram who also spin. I like a lovely friend Grace of Babbles Travels. She got in touch with me and she was like, don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. And my friend Leigh as well of the Louleigh podcast. So it's just been really great to have all of their spinning support, being a new spinner and all. But I am really enjoying the learning process, and I'm reading Yarn.i.tec.ture, which I've got here. This is the Knitter's Guide to Spinning the Yarn You Desire. And it's a really fabulous book. It goes on about why you might be spinning, what you have in mind for your fibre, to what project you want to use it in, the kind of plies, under and overplying different fibres, fibre preparations. It's got gorgeous pictures too, like big, inspiring, colourful pictures that make me just want to like go nuts over some fibre. It makes me want to squish it all. It's got like drafting methods, pre-drafting, counting your treadles and things. It's got all sorts of tips. It's amazing. A really great resource. I was advised to get this, and when I did, I was absolutely shocked by the fact of how much information this book has, and the fact that it's got some really nice patterns in the back. Wait, just bear with me. By some really good designers as well. So 12 patterns using hand spun yarn. So we've got a few shawls, some Mobius, not too bothered about the Mobius, Kirsten Kapoor, really like this cardigan, that's really cute. Then there's Vanawillemiel, really beautiful shawl. There's some socks. We all know how to make socks though, don't we? Julia Farewell Clay. Oh, it's really raining. Can you, I'm wondering if you can hear that. It's just like the heavens have opened. If you can, I apologise. We do have some flat roofs surrounding us, so when it rains it's really heavy and you can hear the downpour. It's quite cool on a stormy night. There is a number of shawls in here. There's a shawl with like a little hint of embroidery, which is beautiful. I've never tried embroidery on my knitting, but maybe I would. This one by Bristol Ivy I love. Isn't that fabulous? I'm actually really tempted to knit this because I do like an open fronted cardigan. It's got some beautiful shaping in the back panel as well. And then these mittens are gorgeous. Look at those. Stunning. So I might have to make those as well. I love this lady's hair, it's fabulous. Look at that hair. Isn't she beautiful? And a lovely green sweater. She looks amazing. So yeah, it's really great resource. I'm so happy that I actually bought this. I think I got it from maybe the Book Depository or Wordery, one of the two. But I think it was only about £13. So if you are in for some more spinning knowledge, this book might be for you. And then on spinning treats, I've also this month purchased a couple of bits of fibre. It's all downhill from here. So a new to me dyer, which I spotted on Etsy. She'd been dyeing some yarn fairly recently that were really bright colours, and I added I followed her on there, and then while I was browsing I got a notification, and I do like to check on there sometimes at my notifications, and as I did, this baby came up for sale. So she must have just updated her page. So instantly I was like, yes please, and bought it. So this is Floof Fibre and Yarn Co. She's just floof.fibre on Instagram, and it's Lucy. Hello Lucy. So she went to share this on her Instagram and was like, I do apologise, this has literally gone up in the minute that I put it up. And that's because I snagged it. But look how fab it is, and bright and fun. Apparently this is using she used the kaleidoscope dyes as well that Siobhan of Siobhan Crafts is producing. So this is a Polworth nylon superwash base, so it's 75/25. And I've never spun with Polworth just yet, so something new to tick off my breeds I've tried list. I've also got a little spinning notebook so I can take notes and also tick off things I've tried and experiments and write down my project plans and things so that I don't forget what I'm doing. But isn't it fabulous? I love the neon and the yellows as well. So this will probably be socks. So cool. And then the second bit of fibre I purchased was from Debs of Fondant Fibre because she started selling again. So Fondant Fibre. She dyes yarn, makes project bags, dyes fibre, and does also Rolag prep. And this is a Corriedale combed top in the Divine shade. Look how beautiful it is. It's kind of blowing out on the screen. Gorgeous. And it is Divine. 100 grams. I love it. It's so pretty. It's kind of collapsing on me at the minute, but keep pushing it back together. But it's really pretty. So I got that as well. This may be going into a sweater spin at some point. Still planning that. So if it doesn't, it might become something else, like a hat or something exciting. But we'll see. We'll see what we pick up at Yarndale, because that's mainly where I'm going to be planning and prepping for some sweater projects. Go big or go home. So that's it for spinning. I do have some books to share, but I might actually produce a separate episode for that, like a little mini episode. But that's all I have to share with you on the making front, apart from the socks and the cross stitch that my cat is still sleeping on. Can't disturb the beast. It's not a good plan. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that because it's quite a fairly long episode, and I hope you've enjoyed watching, and please come and join us on the Ravelry group. Come and say hello on Instagram, and please do join in our latest CAL, which is Archive Along 2019. It's a year-long MAL where you get to knit, sew, crochet, whatever, from patterns that you previously owned before 2019, and actually get using stashed patterns or patterns from books that you've owned for a long time. So yeah, utilise your little library that you already have. Thank you for bobbing by, watching me, spending some time, and I will see you soon. Bye! Look at him. Look at him sleeping on my pretty bags. You can hear me, his ears moving. He's pretending he's sleepy.